Hi, I'm Daniel Foley from Foley Health and Fitness, and in this video I want to talk to you about two things that if you do them consistently with your fitness can make a tremendous difference. So first I want to reference, there's a great book that I came across recently called The Little Book of Talent. And in this book, the author talks about how he traveled all over the world and found these what he calls hotbeds of talent. Places like swimming clubs that produce people like Michael Phelps and a bunch of other Olympians. You know, tennis clubs that produce a whole bunch of professional tennis players from one little place. You know, music clubs, math clubs. Places where they were hotbeds of talent. People were coming out of those places at a high level and all from one concentrated area. And the book talks about what those places had in common. What did they do differently than everybody else? And kind of to summarize the book in one line, he says that all of those places have a different relationship with practice than pretty much everywhere else. And so he talked about they do two things constantly, two things that they really emphasize all the time. And number one is foundations. They put an extra emphasis on making sure that the fundamental skills are always in place. So for example, in your fitness, things like just the ability to move well, like squats, push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, just the basic exercises. Even when you go to the barbell, your basics like a back squat and bench press, they master the basics. They put a lot of emphasis on making sure that those foundations are really good. Even for the people that are really high level, like a Michael Phelps, they're still spending a lot of time just working on the basics and drilling in those basics to make sure that their foundation is always good. And they find ways to do those foundations every day, but to make it fun, to make it exciting, and to make it almost into a game, so to speak. So what I want to kind of establish, number one, is that you should be practicing these things on a daily basis. No matter how beginner or advanced you are, if you spend some time every day working on your foundations. And so for fitness, for us, that's usually body weight exercises like squats, push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, things like that. Making sure that you've mastered the technique, that you're good at them, you have strength in those movements, and that you're doing them at a very high level, so to speak. Next thing is, all these hotbeds of talent, they always encourage their people to try new skills, to constantly be trying that next skill, to kind of get out of their comfort zone and to try those new things, so to speak. This adds some variety, it adds progression, it adds kind of constantly moving forward, so to speak. But it adds that next level of things. So for a lot of people, what's that next level of skill for you, so to speak? Maybe you could learn some gymnastics types of things like handstands or cartwheels, things like that. Maybe you could work on Olympic weightlifting. Maybe it's taking your strength up to an even higher level, trying a weight that you've never tried before. But working on some new skills, whether it's in strength or flexibility or whatever it may be, or power, working on some new skills to take things up to the next level. And when you do these things, you have the foundations in place and you're constantly developing new skills. You have variety, but you also have consistency. And you need both of those things to be successful in the long term with your exercise. You need both consistency on a daily basis, but you also need variety of new things that you are trying out to keep it fresh, to keep it interesting, but also to keep it progressing over the long term. Now, one of the things we do every year in our gym is we have what we call the yearly cycle. And on that cycle, in the springtime every year, we go back and we make sure that the foundations, put a little bit of extra emphasis on the foundations every year. If you'd like to see that plan, you'll see a link below. You can click on that link. It'll take you to a 50-day plan for the spring to kind of spring clean your body, make sure that your foundations are good as you go throughout the year.